Hi everyone, this is Zakir and this is the 14th video in our module functions. Check the previous video if you missed it in the description below. Today we will be discussing about partial fractions. In your lower grades, you were taught to add two fractions and get the answer into one fraction. In partial fractions, you will learn the reverse process of this. We will split one fraction into two or more fractions. There are four situations we have to consider in partial fractions. In this video, we will be discussing two situations. First, let's look at the fractions with linear factors as the denominator. Let's take this example, x plus 2 divided by x into x plus 1. So now we have to separate this into a over x plus b over x plus 1. Here, a and b are constants that we need to find. Then we multiply this whole equation by the denominator, that is x into x plus 1. So when we multiply this term by x into x plus 1, we get x plus 2. When we multiply this, the x gets cancelled off. And when we multiply this, x plus 1 gets cancelled off. Finally, we get this equation. Now we substitute values for x such that one of the two terms in the right side become 0. Notice that when we substitute x equals 0, this term becomes 0. That way we can find a. So when we substitute x equals 0, this equation becomes 0 plus 2 equals a into 0 plus 1 plus b into 0. So we can find a equals 2. Now that we have found a, we can find b by making this term go to 0. For this to become 0, x should be equal to minus 1. So if we substitute x equals minus 1 in this equation, we get minus 1 plus 2 equals a into minus 1 plus 1, that is 0, plus b into minus 1. So finally we get b equals minus 1. So now we have the values of a and b. This is not the final answer. We need to substitute these values in the initial equation. So the final answer is x plus 2 divided by x into x plus 1 equals 2 over x minus 1 over x plus 1. Now for the second situation, let's look into partial fractions where the denominator is a quadratic function. For example, let's take this 3x plus 4 divided by x plus 2 multiplied by x squared minus x plus 1. So this we split it as a over x plus 2 plus bx plus c divided by x squared minus x plus 1. Now we multiply it as we did before. We multiply by the denominator. So this will give us 3x plus 4 equals a into x squared minus x plus 1 plus bx plus c into x plus 2. Here we can see that if we substitute x equals minus 2, we can get this whole term to 0 and we can find a. So if we substitute x equals minus 2, we get 3 into minus 2 plus 4 equals a into minus 2 squared, that is 4 minus 2 plus 1. Finally, we get the answer a equals minus 2 over 7. Then we can continue substituting values for x and find simultaneous equations to solve for b and c. But now let's do it in a new method. In this method, we rearrange this equation in terms of x. We open this bracket and rearrange to get 3x plus 4 equals a plus b into x squared plus 2b plus c minus a into x plus a plus 2c. Here, a plus b is the coefficient of x squared. 2b plus c minus a is the coefficient of x and a plus 2c is the constant. Now let's compare these two sides. If we look at the coefficients, we can see that there is no x squared on the left hand side. So we can say that a plus b equals 0 by looking at the coefficients of x squared. Since we know a, we can find that b equals 2 upon 7. Also, when we compare the constants, we can see that here the constant is a plus 2c and here the constant is 4. So a plus 2c is equal to 4. Since we already know a, we can find that c equals 15 over 7. Now we have the values of a, b and c. So we simply substitute it into the initial equation. That will give us 3x plus 4 divided by x plus 2 into x squared minus x plus 1 equals minus 2 over 7 divided by x plus 2 plus b is 2. 2x plus 15, 7 is common here, into x squared minus x plus 1. So this is the final answer. Now for the tip of the day. When the denominator is a quadratic function, first check and see whether it could be factorized. If so, then factorize it and then proceed. For example, this quadratic function x squared plus 3x plus 2 can be factorized into x plus 2 and x plus 1. So now we have two linear factors. So we can split this as a over x plus 2 plus b over x plus 1. And now it becomes the first type that we learned today. So that brings us to the end of this video. Share this video to your friends or to anyone who will benefit from this video. If you have any questions, please ask us in the comments below. We are always ready to help you. Until then, take care.